I'm Angenette Levy, and thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. We have an update for you on the case of Bryan Kohberger, that 28-year-old PhD student now charged with killing four University of Idaho students. They were Kaylee Goncalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Well, we've been telling you that the families of these victims have been looking for any possible connections between Kohberger and their loved ones who were murdered. And we can tell you that the attorney representing the family of Kaylee Goncalves says they haven't found any connection. They don't believe that Kaylee knew Bryan Kohberger at all. And they say they've turned any information they have over to the Moscow Police Department. The question, of course, remains, did Bryan Kohberger know any of the other victims in this case, Kernodle, Chapin, or Maddie Mogen? We can't answer that question for you at this time, but we know that Moscow police continue to investigate whether or not Bryan Kohberger knew these people. We know that he moved to the area, to Pullman, Washington in August of 2022. And according to that affidavit for probable cause that was submitted to the court to charge him with 4 counts of first degree murder and 1 count of burglary, that they say cell phone data showed that he, or at least his phone, were in the area of the home where these students lived at least 12 times between August and November 13th of last year. Bryan Kohberger will be in court on Thursday for what is a status hearing. At that time, a couple of decisions could be made by his lawyers as they meet, and it'll be a brief hearing with the court. So let's listen to what the attorney for Kaylee Goncalves' family, Shanon Gray, believes will happen at that hearing.
You have to realize the status hearing is going to be one of two things. The status hearing will be, yes, we want a preliminary hearing. And so they'll set a date for the preliminary hearing to start. Or no, we're waiving the preliminary hearing. So they'll set a date for the arraignment. So that's all that's going to happen on the status hearing.
Sure.
So I'll be there, but throughout this process, that I will be there, or some representative of the family will be at every court appearance moving forward.
That status hearing will begin at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 Eastern time, and Law and Crime will have it covered for you. Bryan Kohberger, of course, remains in the Latah County Jail being held without bail. For Law and Crime, I'm Angenette Levy.